I will say this one time. We have pictures of you and Nathaniel. If you want to keep them secret from your husband, you need to stop seeing him immediately. This threatening message wasn't sent by an actual criminal organization. It was crafted by Linda Palomo, a woman consumed by jealousy who created an entire network of fake identities to manipulate her cheating fiancé. What began as an elaborate digital deception would escalate into a tragedy nobody could have anticipated. By September 2023, an innocent family would be completely erased from existence. 2 children, just 7 and 10 years old, would have their futures violently stolen. And the puppet master orchestrating it all? She was hiding in plain sight, even driving her fiancé to commit the murders. If real-life family crime grips you, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and smash subscribe with the bell so you never miss a new case on Fatal Family Network. In the suburbs of Chicago, Nathaniel Huey Jr. lived a life balanced on the edge of legality. Born in 1993, his adult record included arrests for battery, aggravated DUI, and multiple standard DUIs. But his most concerning trait was his fixation with firearms, a man legally banned from owning guns who not only collected them obsessively, but flaunted them on social media. Despite this court order, Nathaniel established an unlicensed security company, advertising armed services through Facebook. His posts proudly displayed handguns, assault rifles, silencers, and stockpiles of ammunition, a digital trophy case that authorities somehow failed to notice for years. By his mid-20s, Nathaniel began a relationship with Linda Palomo, born February 3, 1973. At 42, Linda was 20 years older than 22-year-old Nathaniel when they met. The relationship progressed quickly, with Linda bringing significant baggage: 5 adult children and 5 grandchildren, some nearly Nathaniel's age. Though they called each other husband and wife and eventually became engaged, they never legally married. Their household was crowded and tense, with some of Linda's children and grandchildren living alongside them. Christina, Linda's 20-year-old daughter, later described Nathaniel as angry and dangerous, creating an atmosphere of fear. Reports even suggested Linda herself was frightened of him. 6 years into their relationship, 28-year-old Nathaniel began pursuing multiple affairs. He believed his activities remained secret, but Linda quickly discovered everything. Rather than confrontation, Linda chose a path that would lead to unimaginable consequences. In December 2021, Linda made a decision that would ultimately destroy multiple lives. Instead of ending her relationship with Nathaniel, she embarked on an elaborate scheme to control him. She created dozens of fake profiles across Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter. She downloaded random images for profile pictures, invented personas, and researched extensively to make her deception believable. She even searched, "How to track your boyfriend? Is there an app to track my husband without him knowing?" And "How to use the dark web safely?" Linda downloaded spyware to monitor Nathaniel's every message, call, and movement. Armed with this surveillance network, she launched her first catfish, a fictional Bulgarian woman in her 40s. The conversation with Nathaniel turned flirtatious quickly, but then took an unexpected turn. The Bulgarian woman claimed her husband was part of the Bulgarian Mafia, and they were tracking Nathaniel's every move. To prove it, she sent his exact location and details from his private messages. Nathaniel was terrified and completely convinced. What he didn't realize was that his fiancée was orchestrating everything from the next room. Over months, Linda expanded her fictional criminal world. She introduced an entire cast of characters: Turtle the Hitman, Ignis, with connections to the Mexican cartel, and others named Lisa, Claudia, Paydov, Edgar, Skrilla, and Fernando. Each had distinct roles as crime bosses, hackers, debt collectors, or murderers. Linda's commitment to this deception was extraordinary. She researched criminal organizations on the dark web, studying their hierarchy and terminology. She used Bulgarian dictionaries to translate words for authenticity. She created complex backstories and intertwined all her characters into an elaborate criminal universe. Her main objective? stop Nathaniel's affairs and make him fully devoted to her again. The scheme failed spectacularly. In May 2023, Nathaniel began working at Avanti Engineering, where he met 32-year-old Zareta, a married mother of two. Their relationship quickly intensified beyond a simple affair. They exchanged romantic notes, calling each other soulmates, and discussing plans to move in together. Zareta's husband Alberto knew about her previous affairs with co-workers, but stayed for their children, 10-year-old Adriel and 7-year-old Diego. The boys were described by family as innocent angels who could hug your worries away. When Linda discovered this new, serious relationship through her surveillance, she was furious. Her catfishing efforts intensified to unprecedented levels. Messages from her fictitious Mafia contacts became more frequent and threatening. One message to Nathaniel read, "You need to end it right now," and bizarrely instructed him to have sex with his wife more and make her climax. Somehow, Nathaniel failed to question why criminal organizations would care about his intimate life with Linda. Linda then extended her catfishing to target Zareta directly, threatening, "If you want to keep these pictures secret from your husband, you need to stop seeing him immediately." When Zareta showed little concern, Linda escalated by threatening her children. "The Mafia will hunt down your children and hurt them." Zareta immediately responded, "You don't know me as a mother. Leave my children out of this." Undeterred, Linda contacted Alberto, warning that his wife was having an affair with a very dangerous man who works for the Mafia, claiming Nathaniel was a killer who carries guns and weapons and was going to harm your children. When Alberto dismissed these threats, Linda replied with chilling directness, "Your children will be." Despite the intimidation, Nathaniel and Zareta continued their relationship. They exchanged messages professing their love and discussed finding a place together. In one note, Zareta wrote, "I'm not sure how to be without you. I don't want anything bad to happen to my family, but you're my happiness." Linda, tracking everything, created a group chat with Nathaniel, Zareta, and Alberto, sending death threats stating that if the affair didn't end, Zareta's entire family would be murdered. Threatening letters appeared in Alberto's mailbox, including one that read, "You have failed as a mother. Your sons will suffer for this. God bless you and your sons." Terrified for his children, Alberto wrote directly to Nathaniel, pleading with him to end the relationship with his wife. "Do you think you are the first affair she's had? She doesn't care about you. She will never leave her family." The constant threats and pressure finally broke Nathaniel. He became increasingly paranoid, covering his doorbell camera and TV with electrical tape, convinced he was being watched. He turned to cocaine, which only worsened his paranoia. Then, on September 14, 2023, Linda played her final, deadly card. Posing as a Mafia contact, she told Nathaniel that Zareta was actually a spy who had been feeding information to the Mafia. The affair was fake. Zareta's true mission was to monitor Nathaniel, and now she planned to murder him. The Mafia told Nathaniel there was only one way out. He needed to kill Zareta and her entire family, including her husband and two young sons. In his drug-fueled, paranoid state, Nathaniel believed this absurd claim and agreed to the plan. Over the next days, he stopped going to work, ceased all communication with Zareta, and began planning the murders with the Mafia, who was actually his fiancée Linda. They researched the layout of Zareta's home, identified entry points, studied the neighborhood's CCTV coverage, and noted the empty plot behind the house as an ideal entry point. They discussed who would be present: Zareta, Alberto, the two children, and 3 family dogs. Linda instructed Nathaniel to cause as much damage to the home as possible to make it look like a burglary gone wrong, assuring him that many murders go unsolved and the Mafia had his back. In messages to this Mafia contact, Nathaniel wrote, "Bro, you good. I still gotta figure out exit strategy, but go through the backyard at 3 a.m. Hard entry into back door. Drop dogs as they present. Move through, locate and hit 2 adults first, then 2 kids. Destroy house, get out, burn clothes, destroy phones." Nathaniel purchased equipment for the murders: high-quality binoculars, new clothes unlikely to leave DNA evidence, and prepared a black duffel bag containing a Glock 19 handgun, an AR-15 rifle, ammunition, a knife, flashlight, rubber gloves, zip ties, and a gun cleaning kit. Most incredibly, Linda accompanied him while shopping for these items, continuing her elaborate deception that she knew nothing about his plans. In the early morning hours of September 17, 2023, just 3 days after being told Zarita was a spy, Nathaniel was ready to execute his plan. The family was asleep, with both children in bed with their mother after having trouble sleeping that night. At 3 a.m., Nathaniel arrived outside their home. His driver? Linda, who had driven her fiancé to murder the woman he was having an affair with, pretending she had no idea what was happening. Nathaniel watched the house for 40 minutes. At 3:40 a.m., he entered through the rear door and smashed a window to simulate a break-in. The noise woke Alberto, who went to investigate. Nathaniel opened fire but missed, sending Alberto fleeing toward the bedroom where his children slept. Before he could reach them, Nathaniel caught up and fired 5 rapid shots. Alberto collapsed in the hallway, fatally wounded. The commotion sent the family dogs running and barking through the house. Nathaniel stepped in Alberto's blood as he continued down the hallway, shooting and killing one of the dogs. Reaching Zarita's bedroom, he found the door locked. He tried forcing it open, then kicking it down, but Zarita was on the other side, desperately trying to keep him out. She was screaming and pleading for her life and her children's lives. After multiple failed attempts to break through, Nathaniel aimed his gun at the door lock and fired. The bullet struck Zarita through the door, killing her. With Zarita now dead, Nathaniel entered the bedroom where he found 10-year-old Adrielle and 7-year-old Diego in bed. In an act of unimaginable cruelty, he approached the boys and fired 2 shots into their heads, killing them instantly. To complete the staged burglary, Nathaniel returned to the living room, knocked over furniture, and spray-painted "FU" on the wall. He then found and killed the 2 remaining family dogs before leaving the house and returning to the car where Linda waited. Together, they drove home as if nothing had happened. The next day, when none of the family members showed up for work or school, concerned colleagues and friends reported their absence. Police conducted a welfare check and discovered the horrific scene. Blood everywhere, bodies of family members and pets, furniture destroyed. While investigators processed the crime scene, Linda continued her charade. Still pretending to be Turtle, the Mafia contact, she messaged Nathaniel instructions on destroying evidence and how to respond if questioned by police. Detectives quickly learned about Zarita's affair with a coworker named Nathaniel, immediately making him a person of interest. When questioned at work, Nathaniel freely admitted to the affair, but claimed his wife Linda knew nothing about it. He appeared genuinely unaware of Linda's involvement in the entire scheme. When asked about Zarita's murder, he claimed he had only heard about it on the news. Officers were suspicious, but lacked evidence for an arrest. But the next day, police observed Nathaniel transferring guns to another vehicle. Later, when questioned again in a Walmart parking lot, Nathaniel began rambling about threats from a Bulgarian woman with Mafia connections. Although his story seemed absurd, police still needed concrete evidence to make an arrest. Next, investigators questioned Linda, who convincingly portrayed herself as an innocent bystander, merely the fiancée of a suspect who happened to be having an affair with the murder victim. Police initially believed her act completely. 2 days after the murders, Nathaniel began to panic. Convinced arrest was imminent, he and Linda consulted an attorney. Afterward, Nathaniel met his mother in a Target parking lot and confessed to the murders, telling her he needed to flee. Nathaniel and Linda went on the run together, but their disappearance triggered a different concern for police. Because Linda had vanished alongside their murder suspect, investigators now feared she might be Nathaniel's next victim. Ironically, they were desperately searching for the very mastermind behind the entire plot, believing they were trying to save her life. The fugitives were spotted on CCTV in a Walmart parking lot, appearing surprisingly calm for people fleeing murder charges. police quickly located them, initiating a high-speed chase on the interstate. Over police radio, officers were heard saying, "He is a murder suspect. She is an endangered victim. Don't let her get harmed." During the pursuit, Nathaniel's car suddenly lost control, crashing into another vehicle before hitting the central barrier and bursting into flames. Officers rushed to extract the occupants, but both were already dead. In the final moments of the chase, Nathaniel had pulled out a gun, shot Linda in the head, then turned the weapon on himself. Whether he had finally discovered her betrayal or simply lost control remains unknown. Initially, Linda was mourned as an innocent victim caught in Nathaniel's violent spree. Her family praised her character, claiming she had unwittingly become entangled in Nathaniel's evil plans. Months later, the truth emerged. Police investigation uncovered the elaborate web of fake profiles, the extensive research Linda had conducted, and all the threatening messages she had sent while impersonating criminal organizations. The evidence revealed Linda as the architect of a year-long catfishing scheme that ultimately led to the deaths of an entire family. 6 people lost their lives in this tragic case: Alberto and Zareta, their sons Adriel and Diego, and finally, Nathaniel and Linda themselves. The true victims were the innocent family who became entangled in a web of jealousy, digital deception, and psychological manipulation that escalated beyond anyone's imagination. This case stands as a chilling reminder of how modern technology can enable dangerous obsessions and how digital manipulation can evolve into real-world violence with devastating consequences. Family should be a refuge, but even the closest ties can fracture. Stay alert, look out for one another, and reach out if you sense danger. See you in the next story here on Fatal Family Network. Thanks for watching.